People always say Donald Trump a racist, hate black people, and maybe dictator. How can a racist and a black hater sign a bill to support a black college, which Obama never did, even he stayed in White House for 8 years? Normally, dictators prefer a big government because big government control a lot of resources. They can buy media, they can buy legislation, and they also can buy ruling legitimacy. But Donald Trump prefers small government, and he was bullied by media on daily basis. Who sounds like dictator here?
I got Ukraine, and I remember going over convincing our team, or others too, convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
One of the recipients of an email from Hunter Biden is confirming its authenticity, actually several emails and text messages, and shedding some new light on the family's role in a business arrangement involving a Chinese company. Senior political correspondent Mike Emanuel is in Washington tonight with the very latest. Good evening, Mike.
Brett, Martha, good evening to you. Hunter Biden's former business partner on a Chinese energy deal, Tony Bobolinsky, breaks his silence, unloading text messages, emails, and documents he claims are about Hunter Biden's overseas business dealings and interaction with Joe Biden. In a May 19, 2017 text message obtained by Fox News, Hunter Biden apparently tells his business associates, quote, "My chairman gave an emphatic no. That same day, business associate Rob Walker appears to respond to Tony Bobulinski, quote, when he said his chairman, he was talking about his dad. Bobulinski served in the Navy in the 1990s and was brought on to lead a group including Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's brother Jim in a business deal with a Chinese energy firm. He was also the primary recipient of this May 2017 email, which Fox obtained last week, noting 10% of equity for the big guy. A newly revealed text message shows Bobulinski was apparently warned by business partner James Gillier, don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you are face to face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid. Fox's Hillary Vaughn questioned Joe Biden in October 2019.
Do you stand by your statement that you did not discuss any of your son's overseas business dealings with him?
Yes, I stand by that statement.
In a statement, Bobulinski told Fox News, quote, I've seen Vice President Biden saying he never talked to Hunter about his business. I've seen firsthand that that's not true, because it wasn't just Hunter's business. They said they were putting the Biden family name and its legacy on the line. A May 17, 2017 text message, Hunter purportedly writes to his colleagues, the Chinese are coming to be my partner, to be partners with the Bidens. Bobulinski adds, quote, I realized the Chinese were not really focused on a healthy financial ROI, return on investment. They were looking at this as a political or influence investment. Bobulinski says there was a power struggle, and in June of 2017, Hunter rants about not wanting to sign over, quote, my family's brand, my family's only asset, to Tony Bobulinski. Bobulinski explains, once I realized that Hunter wanted to use the company as his personal piggy bank by just taking money out of it as soon as it came from the Chinese, I took steps to prevent that from happening. Bobulinski says he will share his information with the Senate Finance and Homeland Security committees. Separately, Fox News has learned the subpoena of a laptop and hard drive purportedly belonging to Hunter Biden came in connection with a money laundering investigation, according to documents obtained by Fox and verified by multiple federal law enforcement officials who reviewed them. It is not clear the status of that investigation or if it is directly related to Hunter Biden. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi did not engage when asked about the former vice president today.
I'm sorry, I'm not answering your questions, okay? We're talking about the coronavirus.
Some Republicans argue it's time for Joe Biden to talk.
The American people deserve some answers here, and he needs to be asked about it at tonight's debate.
There is a reference in a May 2017 text message about the need to stress to Hunter, does he want to be the reason or factor that blows up his dad's campaign, written before a campaign was launched? Experts say potential legal issues could be money laundering, tax evasion, and failure to register as foreign agents, in this case, China. Brett, Martha?
Mike Emanuel live in Washington. Mike, thanks.
Joe Biden blamed Donald Trump didn't control situation well about COVID-19. How can Trump control the behavior of the Democratic Party, said for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Governor Cuomo, and Mayor Blasio? They tried their best to against every step Trump tried to do. Even they contradict themselves from beginning to the end. Sounds like they don't care about how many people die. All they care is about how to blame Trump.
In fact, not saying I take no responsibility initially. Anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as President of the United States of America. We're in a situation.
Coronavirus also impacting business in San Francisco's Chinatown. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who represents San Francisco, toured the area this morning. She says there's no reason tourists or locals should be staying away. NBC Bay Area's Mark Matthews has been with the House Speaker all day. He joins us live in San Francisco's Chinatown.
She has a fever, she's sick, she has flu-like symptoms. I said, has she been exposed to someone positive? No, not that we know of. Did she travel to a hot spot? No. I said, then there's no test, and there's no reason for a test. Leave her home, help her, be careful that she doesn't infect you, but that's it. And flu-like symptoms, and a couple of weeks, she'll feel better, and she'll get on with it.
A show of support tonight from city officials for Asian American-owned businesses amid the coronavirus concerns. Mayor de Blasio met with business owners in Flushing, Queens today. He says many businesses and restaurants there and also in Chinatown and Sunset Park are suffering because some customers are afraid of the virus. There are no confirmed cases in New York City. The mayor is reminding everybody the risk of infection to New Yorkers is low.
The mayor of New York City, Mr. Bill de Blasio, joins us now. Mr. Mayor, good to see you. You all have done a good job communicating. The schools are still open here in New York City. What's your update this morning, and how are you looking at this? You've tried to remain calm, obviously, but also you've tried to keep this in some kind of context for this big city.
Willie, 8.6 million people here. We have 25 cases as of this morning, and we care deeply about each of those individuals, but against the backdrop of 8.6 million people, and for the vast majority of New Yorkers, life is going on pretty normally right now, and we want to encourage that. Look, we've got to look out for.
Even though the media is totally biased and covered up by Joe Biden, and even the accused Donald Trump wrongly, but the American people know whatever Donald Trump did his best, and they appreciate it. You can see the overwhelming support for their president.
finding plenty of support on his trip to South Florida.
Cheering crowds lining the streets as his motorcade sped by. You see there. Local 10's Roy Ramos live now to continue our team coverage. Roy.
Yeah, those supporters have since cleared the area, but I can tell you when they were out here, just about everywhere you looked, you saw those Trump 2020 signs, people wearing shirts and even chanting supporting the president. But we did see a handful of protesters arrive here. However, they did keep their distance, staying across the street. President Trump waving to hundreds of supporters who welcomed him to Jupiter, Florida Tuesday. This, his first trip to Palm Beach County since the coronavirus pandemic began in mid-March.
I believe that we need to show support for our president. He's doing a great job.
Supporters arrived bright and early to the intersection of Beach Road and US 1, right across the street from the president's campaign stop at Lighthouse Park.
I believe in the man. I believe in America. I think he's on the right track.
Wearing their Trump t-shirts, holding signs that read Trump 2020 and Keep America Great. We heard chants of 4 more years as the president seeks re-election and looks to win Florida in a competition against Democratic candidate and former Vice President Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah, he'll get in there with a landslide. Yeah. We're pretty sure of that.
Inside, Trump speaking on the Great American Outdoors Act, which provides funding to national parks, forests, wildlife refuges, and recreational areas, something this group says they support.
I like the whole platform.
Outside the rally, hundreds gathered, but we did spot a handful of protesters holding Biden-Harris signs.
We need people to be able to come out and peacefully say this is war.
But they were clearly outnumbered at this event.
Maybe we scared them away. There's a lot more of us.
So we did see the presidential motorcade leaving the area just before 4 o'clock. We know he is now headed to North Carolina, where he is expected to attend another rally this evening. Here in Jupiter, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.
Trump supporters from all across Florida and across the country made their way out to Clearwater Beach for what they're calling the mother of all boat parades. They're trying to break the world's record for the largest boat parade in honor of President Trump, and they might just do it. Currently, the Guinness Book of World Records states that the current world record for the largest boat parade was achieved back in 2014 in Malaysia with 1,180 boats. But organizers of today's parade said they're confident that at least on paper, they have that record beat. They told Fox 13 they had over 1,600 boaters register to be in today's parade, but with people registering up until the last minute and with organizers encouraging boaters to join in along the routes, they told us there's a good possibility there's at least 2,000 boats out on the water for today's event.
People are coming from all over the place. They're coming from the East Coast, they're coming from South, they're coming from Orlando. We've got the original Trump boat here. He came up from West Palm Beach, Jupiter area. We got people coming from South Carolina, all over the place, you know, to represent Trump and to support this effort.
For those who were out on the beach today, there was no question why these boaters were out on the water. Organizers encouraged those in the parade to fly as many Trump flags as possible to make sure their message was clear. The parade started with a patriotic send-off at Pier 60 as the national anthem played, followed by a flyover by 2 World War II biplanes and a few surprises along the way.
And we're going to head south in the intercoastal, and when we get to One Tree Island, that's where paratroopers are going to jump out and land on that island.
The parade route wrapped up at the Welch Causeway, where each boat was officially counted in hopes of breaking that world record. Now, this boat parade in support of President Trump comes as early voting wraps up across the Bay Area with the primary election right around the corner. It's set for Tuesday, August 18th. In Clearwater, Elizabeth Fry, Fox 13 News.
Time when protesters are hitting the streets to show their frustration over racial inequality and a lack of support from the White House. President Trump supporters hit the water here in San Diego to say they appreciate his leadership and hope it continues for 4 more years. President Trump supporters hit San Diego Bay today to show their appreciation for the president.
I've been a Republican my whole life. Love America. I love what Trump's doing for this place, and it's great to go out and show it to the world.
They know it hasn't exactly been smooth sailing for President Trump lately, as evidenced by a scene that played out right in the middle of one of our interviews.
Seeing 1,000 boats out here with 50 people or 20 people per boat, that's 100 boats?
That's like 100. Don't be like Trump.
And that's exactly what I mean by people that are, for some reason, so against Trump that they don't understand that we're going to lose our country to other enemies if they don't come together.
Many of the boats were decorated with American flags, items supporting the president's re-election. One boat even had a President Trump balloon. There was also a flyover with several pilots showing their support as well.
Be proud to be American. Live the dream. Believe in freedom. Don't let people tell you what to do.
The 2-hour boat parade was peaceful, with participants telling us that it was nice to see that there are others out there who are willing to publicly show their support for President Trump at a time when many people across the country are hoping to sink the president's re-election bid.
It's really nice to be out here in a peaceful situation supporting our president.